So, good afternoon to class 7. So, you know that we have started with this chapter, A Tiger in the House. So, who were the pets in the house? Raise up your hands. Who were the pets in the house? Which were the pets in the house? It was, which were the pets in the house? Yes, nobody knows. Very bad. Raise up your hand so that I can unmute you. Who are the pets in the house? Yes, Rishita. Yes, Rishita. Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Toto, Timothy, and the mongrel puppy.
And a mongrel puppy were the pets in the house. So what was the name of the cook? What was the name of the cook? What was the name of the cook?
Mahmood.
Mahmood. Mahmood was the name of the cook. So when this tiger was young cub, what was given to him for eating? What was given to the tiger for eating? Yes, Rishika. Suhana, don't mute.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Milk. Ma'am, milk.
milk. And how the milk was being given, Suhana? How the milk was being given?
Ma'am, through a feeding bottle.
Yes,
Through a feeding bottle.
through the feeding bottle. And Bhavya, who is giving this feeding bottle?
Ma'am, in the feeding bottle.
Mahmood.
Mahmood, the cook.
Mahmood, the cook.
Okay. So how can you explain that how Toto was playing with the tiger? How Toto was playing with the tiger? Yes, who will speak that how Toto was playing with the tiger? Yes, how Toto was playing? It used to pull his tail and would jump over the curtains. Yes, Bhavya wants to explain. Yes, Bhavya, you can speak. You are unmuted.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can speak. How tiger plays, how the monkey, Toto, it plays with the tiger.
Yes, ma'am. The monkey first pulls the tail of the tiger, and then he climbs up onto the wall or on the curtain, and then he again just he disturbs the monkey. He disturbs the tiger a lot.
Okay, right. So we have read in this chapter that how grandfather was fond of pets. He had different pets in the house. And then what was the favorite game of the tiger? That when the narrator he used to stalk his hand. Okay. So and dashed for his speed, and then ultimately the tiger rolls over his back and he kicks his paws with happiness. Okay. So on the next page, we have to start this last paragraph. Okay. This last paragraph we are to read. So let us start. He was by this time the size of a full grown retriever. So what is retriever? It is retriever.
Ma'am, to come back.
Yes, retriever.
Ma'am, a breed of a dog.
Yes, it is the breed of a dog. Breed of a dog. You know retrievers, okay? So why they are called as retrievers? Because retrieving is a game of hunting. So they are trained to play this game. So this is the reason why they are called as retrievers. And when I took him out for walks, people on the road would give us a wide berth. Wide berth means, what is the meaning of wide berth? Wide berth means to
Ma'am, keep a distance safe.
yes, to
Keep a distance safe from us.
yes, to keep a distance from the animal. Okay, so now you know it. Is it a common practice to have a tiger in the house? Is it a common practice? No, not at all. People were afraid. So now he was by the size. Means he. Who is he here? According to narrator, who is he here? He is. Who is he? Who is he here? Yes, raise up your hands. About whom the narrator is talking here? Yes, Suhana. Yes.
Ma'am, tiger.
Yes. Now he has grown up to the size of a retriever, and the narrator said that I used to take him to walks, and when people would see this tiger on the road, they would keep a wide berth, means they would keep a safe distance. And when he pulled hard on his chain, I had difficulty in keeping up with him. What is the meaning of keeping up with him? Keeping up with him. What is the meaning of this? It means to, keeping up with him means to control. To control him. Okay. So what is the meaning of keeping up with him means when the tiger, he would pull his chain. You know, the animals, they want to be free. So this is the reason they were sometimes pulling on their chains. And ultimately the narrator said it was really difficult to control him. His favorite place in the house was the drawing room, and he would make himself, what he would do? He would make himself comfortable on the long sofa. So what is the favorite place of the tiger? It is the, you can say, it is the drawing room. And in the drawing room, what is his favorite place? It is sofa. Reclining there. Reclining. What is the meaning of reclining? Sleeping posture. Sometimes you sit on the sofa, you spread your legs and have your back adjusted with the back of the sofa. This is what? It is reclining there with great dignity and snarling at everybody who tried to get him off. Snarling means the snarl is a sound produced by the tiger. Okay, so if anybody would try to get him off his place, what he is doing? He is producing sound, snarling, showing anger. Okay, so Timothy had clean habits and would scrub his face with his paws exactly like a cat. You know, these tigers, they are from actually which family? They are from cat family. Okay, so Timothy has clean habits. He would scratch his face with his paws in order to clean it. Okay, just like as cat is doing. He slept at night in the cook's quarters and was always delighted at being let out by him in the morning. So where Timothy was sleeping? He was sleeping in the servant quarters, that is in the cook's quarters. And in the morning when the cook is going to take him out, so he is feeling very happy. Okay, so how he is feeling? He is feeling very happy. Now, so next, some points are given in highlighted text. Just read. As Timothy grows up, he becomes less friendly and rather dangerous. So yes, this is the important thing about tiger, that when he grows up, he has turned out to be less friendly and more dangerous. Grandfather decides to transfer him to the zoo. So finally, naturally, when the animal grows, you can say harmful, dangerous, the owner will think of shifting him to the zoo. Similarly, the grandfather also decides to shift him into the zoo. 6 months later, grandfather pays Timothy a visit. He is happy to see grandfather. Or is he? So now this we are going to read in the next part of the chapter. One of these days, declared grandmother in her prophetic manner. Prophetic means giving some, you can say, some sermon, some teaching. We are going to find Timothy sitting on Mahmud's bed and no sign of the cook except his clothes and shoes. So now grandmother said that now this Timothy, he is turning very dangerous. So one day as Timothy is sleeping along with, you can say, cook. So one day what will happen? This Timothy would eat entire cook and we will find only his clothes and shoes. So he was giving an indication. So, of course, it never came to that. But when Timothy was about 6 months old, a change came over him. They said, no, this can't happen. But when Timothy has turned out to be 6 months old, a change came in his habits. He grew steadily less friendly. So when he has grown up, he turns out to be less friendly. Out for a walk with me. So now see the change in the behavior of the tiger. So when out for a walk with me, he would try to steal away to stalk a cat or someone's pet dog. Steal away means, it means that he is trying to make an attack, okay, secretly. Okay, what he would do, he would try to steal away, move, means get secretly he is trying to make an attack over someone's pet dog or cat. Sometimes at night we would hear frenzied cackling, okay, from the poultry house. Frenzied means mad manner. Okay, what is the meaning of frenzied means? Mad manner, in a mad manner. So now what is cackling? Cackling sound is that of hens and cocks, okay? And when someone attacks them, they quack, 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 they do. So this is the cackling sound, and when someone eats them, the type of sound is also produced. So now what the narrator is saying, sometimes at night, what they would hear this cackling sound from the poultry house. And in the morning, there would be feathers lying all over the veranda. So in the veranda, what were there? Feathers. It means tiger is silently going there and eating those hens and cocks there. Timothy had to be chained up for more often. So now the time has come when it has to be chained. Chain means when it has to be put under control. It should not be let free. And finally, when he began to stalk Mahmoud about the house with what looked like villainous intent, and when he would say Mahmoud moving into the house, the tiger is moving behind Mahmoud like a villain, like he's going to attack anytime. Intent means intention. Grandfather decided it was time to transfer him to a zoo. So at that moment, what did the grandfather decide? The grandfather decided to shift this tiger to the zoo. So now the question is, why did grandfather decided to shift Timothy to the zoo? Yes, raise up your hands. Why did grandfather decided to shift Timothy to the zoo? Yes, who will give me the answer? Yes, Suhana. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Grandfather decided to shift Timothy to the zoo because he was getting more dangerous time by time.
Okay, so how he was getting dangerous, Rishna? How he was getting dangerous? So what are the signs of being danger for Timothy?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He was getting dangerous day by day. He was slowly eating the hens, and other day there were all over the feathers of hens, and everyone was afraid of him.
And everyone was afraid of him. And when narrator was taking him out for a walk, what he would do? He would stalk a cat or someone's pet dog, right? So this is how this tiger is turning dangerous. So what was the change in nature of the tiger? So how the tiger changed when he has turned out to be of 6 months? Yes, Bhavya.
The change that took place after he was 6 years old, that he became less friendly but rather dangerous.
He turned out to be dangerous and less friendly. So what did grandfather decide? What did grandfather decide? What did grandfather decide? Yes. What did grandfather decide?
The grandfather decided that it was time to transfer Timothy to the zoo.
Yes, that it was time to transfer him to a zoo. So now, reserving a first-class compartment for himself and Timothy, no one would share a compartment with them. Grandfather took him to Lucknow, where the zoo authorities were only too glad to receive as a gift a well-fed and fairly civilized tiger. Well-fed means who is given proper, you can say, food and is turned out to be healthy one. Okay, and fairly civilized means who has good habits, tamed one. Okay, so finally the grandfather, he reserved the first class compartment of a train and he reserved the entire compartment. Why he reserved the entire compartment? Because with tiger no one can share a seat. Okay, so they have gone to Lucknow, right? So why they have gone to Lucknow? In order to give this tiger to the zoo authorities. Okay, he wanted to give this tiger to the zoo authorities, and there these tiger authorities were very happy to receive this tiger as a gift because it was well fed and civilized one. So I have told you well fed means who was given proper food and diet and he has turned out to be a healthier one. Okay, and moreover civilized, having good habits. Now, about 6 months later, when my grandparents were visiting relatives in Lucknow, grandfather took the opportunity of calling at the zoo to see how Timothy was getting on. So now 6 months passed in this manner. So now his grandparents, means narrator's grandparents, they were going to Lucknow. So grandfather thought, now I must go to a zoo to see my Timothy, how he is doing there, whether he is happy or not there. Now, I was not there to accompany him, but I heard all about it when I returned to Dehra. He said, I was not gone with grandfather, but when they came back, they have told us the whole story. So what happened there? Let us see. Arriving at the zoo, grandfather made straight for the particular cage in which Timothy had been interned. Interned means where he was kept in a cage. Interned means where he was kept in a cage. Where he was kept in a cage. So now, when he has reached the zoo, grandfather directly went to that cage where the tiger was kept. The tiger was there, crouched in a corner. Crouch means bend. Okay, you know animals, they bend down, sit down and fold their front legs and back legs, okay, to sit. So he was also in his crouched position. Full grown and with the magnificent striped coat. Magnificent striped coat means the stripes on the body of the tiger. They were completely developed. Now the tiger has grown to its complete size. Hello, Timothy, said grandfather and put his arm through the bars of the cage. So like a loving pet, what he did, he put his arms in this manner into the cage and said, hello, Timothy. The tiger approached the bars. The tiger came near the bars of the cage and allowed grandfather to put both hands around his head. And he put his head down and grandfather, he put both his hands on his head. Grandfather stroked. Stroke means in this manner we stroke the animals with love, pat with the hands. He stroked the tiger's forehead and tickled his ears. We tickle him the ears now of the pets. And whenever he growled, smacked him across the mouth. Smack means hit lightly, just one. When he's growling means producing that ferocious sound. He's hitting him slightly. Don't do that, in order to keep him quiet. So this is the meeting between the grandfather as well as the tiger. He licked grandfather's hands and only sprang. Sprang means jump away when the leopard in the next cage snarled at him. So Timothy, you can see in the picture on the next page. See here, please. Yes, see here. See how this is grandfather is loving his Timothy. So this tiger is licking. Licking means, what is the meaning of lick? Lick means to put tongue out, okay, and ultimately to have the taste of the body, okay. He was just licking, okay, his hands, and ultimately when the next leopard in the next cage, he snarls, only then this tiger is producing that snarling sound. Grandfather shooed the leopard away. Shoot means driving away. Go, go, go away. This is shooing the leopard away, and the tiger returned to lick his hands. Again, the tiger was busy in licking the hands of the grandfather. But every now and then, the leopard would rush at the bars, and he would slink back to the corner. Slink back means move noiselessly. So again, the leopard again and again is coming near the cage, and again the grandfather is shooing him away. And ultimately, when he is shooing him away, again the leopard is moving noiselessly into his corner. A number of people had gathered to watch the reunion when a keeper pushed his way through the crowd and asked grandfather what he was doing. So many people came there to see that how this tiger is so friendly with the stranger. So when number of people gathered there, zookeeper came. He made his way throughout the crowd by pushing the crowd aside to see what was going on. Grandfather said, "I'm talking to Timothy. Weren't you here when I gave him to the zoo 6 months ago?" He said, "You don't know. I have given this tiger to this zoo. I haven't been here very long. Please continue your conversation, but I have never been able to touch him myself. He's always very bad-tempered." He said, "For such a long time I was not here, but whenever I'm trying to touch this tiger, he's not so friendly. He's very bad-tempered." Bad-tempered means he's not at all happy being in the zoo. "I haven't been long here. Why don't you put him somewhere else?" Grandfather said, "If he is bad-tempered, if he's not feeling good here, you can shift this tiger to somewhere else. This leopard who is here in this cage, he is actually disturbing this tiger." He said, "That leopard, he keeps frightening him. I'll go and see the superintendent about it." Grandfather said, "I'll go to the superintendent and would complain." Grandfather went in search for superintendent of the zoo, but found that he had gone home early. Just a moment, please. See the next page, yes. So now grandfather thought that he should consult the superintendent. But what happened? Superintendent was not there. Why? He has gone home early on that day. Maybe he must have some important work to do. And after wandering about zoo for a little while, he returned to Timothy's cage to say goodbye. And it was beginning to get dark, so he did not find the superintendent. So grandfather again came to Timothy's cage to say him goodbye. Now, as it was also getting dark and he has to get back to his home, he had been stroking and slapping Timothy for about 5 minutes when he found another keeper observing him with some alarm. So he was stroking this Timothy in this manner and slapping him in love. Then he saw that another keeper was looking at him. He was having an alarm. Grandfather recognized him as the keeper who had been there when Timothy had first come to zoo. Now grandfather thought, yes, I have seen this keeper before also. When he has seen this keeper before also, he thought that this keeper was there when he has come to return this tiger here. "You remember me? Now why don't you transfer Timothy to another cage away from this stupid leopard?" Now grandfather thought, "I think that this tiger who is getting bad temper, it is to be shifted from here to another cage, because this leopard who is very stupid is disturbing my Timothy." "But sir," stammered the keeper, "it's not your tiger." See, very strange. He said, "Sir, it's not your tiger." Grandfather was surprised. "Not my tiger?" I know. I realize he is no longer mine, but you might at least take a suggestion or two from me." He said, I know. It is not mine now because I have given it to the zoo, but, but you should take care of my suggestion. Now, "I remember your tiger very well. He died 2 months ago." See, strange. He said, "I know your tiger. He died 2 months ago." Now, the grandfather was surprised. "Died? How is this possible? Yes, sir. He died of pneumonia. So what he announced that, how did the tiger die? He died of pneumonia. The tiger was trapped in the hills only last month and he is very dangerous. He said the tiger ran and was trapped in the hills. The tiger was very dangerous. Now grandfather could think of nothing to say. Now grandfather, he had no words to say now, like he is speaking. Tiger was still licking his arm with increasing relish. The tiger was still, you can say, licking his arm because he's in love with grandfather. He knew that he is my real owner. And with increasing relish means with increasing enjoyment. Grandfather took what seemed to him an age to withdraw his hand from the cage. So grandfather thought to withdraw his hand from the cage, but it took him an age means it took him so much of time because he knew that this animal is loving me. With his face near the tigers, he mumbled, "Good night, Timothy." Giving the keeper a scornful look, walked briskly means fast forward, okay? Fastly, briskly out of the zoo. So grandfather said to Timothy, "Goodbye, Timothy. We will meet again." And he scornful means angry look to the keeper who was telling a lie. Okay, so grandfather, he came out of the zoo, right? So now tell me, was the keeper telling a lie or he was telling false things? He was telling a lie or he was telling truth? That grandfather's tiger was dead? Rishita, yes, what do you think?
Ma'am, I think he was telling a lie.
He was telling a lie. Of course, he was telling a lie because it was the tiger who was enjoying the company of grandfather. Okay. So tomorrow we will have some more discussion over it, right? So it is all for today.